Greetings, Patrick here. Welcome to Dollar Theater, the Voters Edition. This is a segment where me and the Cheetah, we put up 4 movies that we have gotten for $1.25 or less. We put up 4 up, or in this case 3 up, and then you guys vote on which movie you think me and the Cheetah should watch and review. This has been a really fun segment. I really have enjoyed it quite a bit. It's interesting some of the movies you guys pick. I think I'm always thinking everybody's gonna vote this way, and then it doesn't happen. It goes the other way, and it's really interesting that way. It gives me an idea, that I know nothing when it comes down to what you guys like. Well, this week we decided to do something a little different. I picked up this Tom Selleck Western collection at the library. I picked it up for 75 cents for 3 movies. And these were made-for-TV movies for TNT, for Turner's Network. Ted Turner is a huge Western fan, and they did a ton of Westerns. A lot of Westerns. A lot of them are sort of like, they're really not shown anymore because they're on TNT, and they don't really show them very much. So this is pretty much, you might be able to see them on Warner Brother Max, maybe. But as far as I know, as far as regular TV, I never hear these movies talked about at all. In the collection, and the TNT actually worked a lot with Tom Selleck. Actually, Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott. They were they did a lot of movies for TNT, a ton, along with Sam Shepard. Just fantastic films. And this is no different. And the 3 movies that feature Tom Selleck in this collection is A Crossfire Trail. This was written by Louis L'Amour. I read this book. I've known this book for years. And so when I saw it was a TV movie, I was interested. And it stars Tom Selleck, and it stars in a rare villain role, Mark Harmon. Mark Harmon is the villain in that movie. Didn't vote for it. Next up, we have Monty Walsh. And Monty Walsh is a remake of an earlier film. And I want to say it starred, maybe it starred Charlton Heston. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe could be wrong on that. Anyway, I know this was a remake, and they remade it, and people seem to like that as well, but not enough for the win. The movie that you guys picked, and overwhelmingly by that too, with close to 60%, is Last Stand at Saber River, which is written by was written by Elmore Leonard in 1959. There was another movie made of this one, Last Stand at Saber River, but this is. I don't think this has anything to do with that movie. This movie came out in 1997. And like I said, it not only it stars, it has an all-star cast to it. It has Tom Selleck. It has Susie Amos. David Dukes, the late David Dukes, played Edward Jenroe. Tom Selleck played Paul Cable. Susan Amos played Mary Cable. Rachel Duncan, who absolutely stole this movie, young child actress. I don't know too much about her. In fact, I don't know anything about her. But she played the oldest daughter, Claire, and she was outstanding. The little girl could ride a horse. I'll tell you that right now. She could ride. It also has a pre-Sixth Sense appearance by Haley Joel Osment. Tracy Needham played Lorraine Kidston. And the Carradine brothers. David Carradine and Keith Carradine, they play Dwayne Kidston and Vern Kinston. And so the story rolls out like this. Paul Cable is riding home from during the Civil War. The war is getting close to the end now, and he's been wounded in action and then got cashiered out. So he is headed back to Texas to reunite with his family. He was wounded in the war, and he's seen it. He's sick of it. He fought with uh, Bedford Forrest. I know, right? Like, couldn't you get him like a decent general to fight with? But they fought with Frederick for yeah, whatever that guy. God, I couldn't believe they actually did that. But anyway, he fought with General Bedford, and so he's on his way home, and he's starts seeing some of his old friends, and they're starting to recognize him coming home, and so he gets there, and he gets home, and he sees. Well, first he has a nasty encounter that he has to take care of, but he gets home in Texas, and he meets his wife and his family and his father-in-law, and he comes to see his family, his wife, his two kids, but he thinks he has a third kid too. Well, he did, except that the baby died like a year old, and Martha is very distraught, very upset. Like the meeting between Paul and Martha is not exactly what other than the first hug. That's basically it. After that, she's very distant, and she explains to him about the daughter, how she wrote him a dozen letters saying what happened to it, to the little girl, and just never wrote back. He never wrote back. So they decide, well, what do you want to do? And Paul says, I want to go home. He has a ranch in Arizona, and and Martha's like, okay, that sounds good to me. I like to go home too. So they invite their father-in-law. Martha's father's not going to go, so they get their wagon and they head out west. And they don't have any problems. Not until they get close to the ranch, and that is they're camping overnight. They're in a thunderstorm, and Paul and Martha are talking and having coffee when they hear a tremendous noise coming. So they grab their kids and they hide behind trees. And sure enough, someone has decided to try to take a herd of wild horses and try to take them down a hill. And it happens to run right through the Cable's little camp, knocks down their wagon, and next thing you know, we're seeing that they're being run through by the Kidstons. They have a ranch too, and also they have like a satellite ranch, and so they have a standoff between the Kidstons, who are Union sympathizers. The two brothers had actually fought in the war, Vern and Dwayne, and then of course they don't particularly like Paul because he's fought in the Confederacy. Um, but they also find out the Kidstons have actually taken over Paul's ranch, and so there's going to be some sparks there. And sure enough, when they come back down to the ranch, uh, there's an encounter. Some of the hands of the Kidstons are getting a little bit too fresh with some of the help, and that results in a shootout. And well, Paul's gun never leaves his holster, so you can tell right away who was pulling the trigger. So Martha, yeah, she takes care of business. They chase him out, and they say, "This is our ranch. We bought it. We have the deeds for it." And of course, that sets off a fight between the Kidstons and the Cables. Um, in town, there's a man named Paul Edward General who runs a general store, but he only has one hand. He's one hand, um, and people think that he lost it falling off a bar stool, which in fact he lost it fighting for the Confederacy, and he served underneath Kirby Smith, but he doesn't let that known because he's only one, but he's a die-hard Confederate, and he's doing his best to help the Confederacy by smuggling guns from Mexico and sending them on to the Confederacy. It's, it tells you, he's shipping up to 24 to 36 rifles, and he's sort of deluded and, has delusions that he's making a great contribution, because he's so bitter and he's, what happened to him and his hate. So on the surface, he seems like a nice guy, but we later find out that he's not. He's been too badly damaged and unstable. So when the war does end, more sparks fly. This movie sort of ran episodically, like little things would come up, get dealt with, onto the next one, dealt with, and not like a TV pilot, so to speak, but it definitely has little episodic segments to it. How was the movie itself? I think it was great. I love westerns, and this is one of the better ones I've seen. Of course, Tom Selleck, and I think it's safe to say that as far as like the 1900s or 1990s and the 2000s, obviously probably our two premier cowboy actors were probably Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott. There's others behind them. Like the Carradine brothers. Our friends Joe Cornette and Ellis Androneski. They also are heavy into westerns. There's a lot of good western actors out there. It seems to me like right after TNT got sold, that's when when they changed their programming. They went from making a lot of original western films to not. So all the western films that Ted Turner okayed, they suddenly were no longer being financed. They weren't going to be doing those anymore, which is why a lot of the TNT westerns just died off. It wasn't because of demand. It was because people love these movies. They're very popular movies, but they had a different programming agenda, so they sort of just phased them out. This film was, like I said, this film was written by the mighty Elmore Leonard. That guy has written so many great books. And it was actually written by, directed by Dick Lowry, who is a fine director, and the music was done by David Shire. Really good score. And what's interesting too is the executive producers on that film. Is Tom Selleck produced this film, and along with Michael Brandman. And Michael Brandman is one of the writers that the Robert B. Parker estates okay to continue to write Jesse Stone books. And Michael Brandman, he's written for some books for the Parker estate as well. I didn't know that he and Tom Selleck knew each other way back then. I thought that maybe they had met each other after or during the Jesse Stone TV movies, but it seems like they've had a working relationship or a personal relationship, friendship, for longer than that. So these guys, Tom and Michael, Tom and Michael, they went ahead and produced this film. I'm looking forward to the other two movies, and I'm probably gonna bring them back sooner than later. So you can get these probably at Walmart. Probably get these at Walmart, eBay, Amazon, anywhere where you can, and they are on DVD only. I do not believe these were transferred to Blu-ray, though I would love to see that happen. There is no special features on these. These were made for TV movies, so unfortunately, we did not get any. Special features. This is a great movie, great western, and glad you guys voted for it. I was thinking Crossfire Trail was gonna win. That's what I thought, but what do I know, right? All right. Well, we got another one coming up here. I'm going to be running this up here and put up a brand new poll. 4 fresh movies. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but whatever they're going to be fun. I can guarantee that. I don't know what I'm going to put up, but what I do is fun. And no, there will never be 4 shark movies on here. Never. No, no. Well, do I have 4 shark movies? I don't even know if I have 4 shark movies. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like notification bell, and then drop a comment down below and let us know if you have seen any of the TNT Western films. If you've seen Last Stand at Saber River. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much. Peace.